So in network marketing is about what works. So it's about what you can duplicate, not just what working for you. So take a look at me. Many people says, they want to compare me with themselves, when they are running online adverts. They've forgotten that I've been here for a long time. I have some of my accounts that has more than 2 million points. That's over, like, we are talking about over 1,000 persons more, 300 persons more on one side of my account, meaning that I'm not building left and right. I get one registrations from an online advert. I know where to place it, and I will get like 3 to 4 matching bonuses. So someone hears me talk about, oh, I did online advert, I got 10 persons. Those 10 persons gave me about 40 matching bonuses. 40 matching bonuses is approximately like 300,000 plus the referral bonuses. That will be giving me almost about 350,000. Oh man, you cover the money, but a new person doing it can't cover the money. Do you see that? So I want us to have this at the back of our mind. Anytime, any day we are building our business, it's not about what is working for us. It's about what you can duplicate. I just gave you a very clear example here. I can duplicate easily what we are doing in our millionaire school. If every member of this business, if everybody, every partner can actually have the culture of when they bring in people into the organization, they work with them to generate 300 contacts and get them and teach them how to share videos, just sharing videos or playing the videos with them, teach them how to close, and get them to pay money. If I can do that, then I'm done. The only thing remaining is to teach you how to do registrations, and then people can start doing registrations. And guess what's going to happen? My team will start exploding. At this level, you have to understand it's not just about you right now. We have to start thinking about your team members. In as much as the leaders here, there are 2 things I always focus on as a leader. Number 1 is my personal result. In fact, I have personal registrations, personal one, sponsoring accounts over 25. Not my team, not you people doing, only me. I love to produce results. Even though some of them are multiple accounts, I love to produce results. Okay, as a leader, you have to constantly produce, or else you lose respect. Then secondly, you have to focus and work with the team to produce. It's very, very vital. Very, very important. So don't ever think about just yourself alone at this stage. You have to think about your success lines, what is working for them. All right. I just gave us an example using my online adverts. I'm not quick into showing people online adverts. All right. So I want us to really maintain that. Someone like Ibn Augusta, I remember I had a discussion with her some time ago concerning a lady that has been mentored so well, but she's not up taking responsibility. And I don't think she will be the one doing presentations for her all the time. I'll keep saying this over and over again. Running presentations for partners can never be duplicated. The day you stop running, the money stops coming. That can never be duplicated. Now, let me give you what helps in duplication. It's called tools. The primary determinant for massive duplication, anything that has to do with you as an individual, strike it off. Even if you can close, you are the best closer on earth, strike it off, because you can never duplicate yourself. You can never be more than one person. You can never stay in 2 locations at the same time, physically. You cannot. Even if I am the best presenter, I can present the most. Trust me, I can't be running 2 Zoom meetings at the same time. I am but one person. Even the one I'm doing is even telling on my health. It's in the show. I'm telling you, I have lots of tasks to do. A lady called me, and Loretta said, sir, even I say, you know they sleep, oh, you are still awake. 1 a.m., 2 a.m., you are not still saying, why are you still awake? I'm telling you. So no matter what I can do, no matter how talented I am, that is secondary. Strike it off. Anything you can do. Even if you have the best of the connections on earth, you can actually attract 1,000 persons. You can generate 1 million numbers. That is you as an individual. You can't duplicate it. Take it off. So the tool, what you need, the primary determinant for massive duplication is what? Tools. Never you forget that. You can duplicate people using tools. You can't duplicate people using you. So our live Zoom meeting, God forbid, but for example, today, I'm not be holding live Zoom meeting today. Either Eminent Augusta or Mr. Tobechukwu, you people are my leaders here that can do the live Zoom meeting. Two of you will have to take that responsibility today. Some of you don't know what has happened to me, even though some of them here know. I can't do the live Zoom meeting today in the night. Yes, I can't. And that is it. So what if Tobechukwu is not here or Madam Eminent Augusta is not here? That I know that they can run the presentations. What will happen to me? What will happen? Some of you have seen it. I've canceled Zoom meeting before now because Eminent Augusta sometimes she will be on the road. Maybe she's traveling today. I don't know. She's just hearing this from me this morning. And she tells me, sir, I will be traveling. I can't be there. There is nothing that I can do. I will just send a message to the group saying, Zoom meeting today canceled. Some of you have seen me, I'll be traveling, and then I will send meetings and I will send messages and say, I'm going to be having Zoom meetings today. Why? It's all on me. Anything about you. But guess what? That doesn't stop me from having massive registrations this weekend. I've noticed from experience that most persons watch our recorded video on weekends. So I normally have the best registrations on weekends. If you want to get people to watch recorded videos so easily, as I start reminding them of the videos today. It happens all the time. Saturdays and Sundays are always very massive. Massive. I'm telling you, that's the time people have to watch the videos and to make decisions for the week. It's always worked that way. So the fact that I'm not going to be running business presentation doesn't mean that the business won't keep growing. It will keep growing. Yes, live presentation has its own place, but I'm telling you, I can't duplicate live presentation. Can you imagine what it's taking you to learn to do presentation? Some of you here. Can you imagine how long it's taking you to start taking responsibility? Then can you imagine, can I build my business on that? I cannot. So the first thing I really want us to take a look at today is using our tools. Do you know how to use our tools as leaders? Do you know the importance of our tools as leaders? And are you focused on helping people, your success lines, to use our tools properly? Using our tools will save your business. It will help you to grow your business independent of you. Tools is the secret to massive duplication. Any team that doesn't have a training tool, so you don't need to train like Engineer Nonso. I have all the videos, I have all the materials. When it comes to the 7 core disciplines, I have a PDF that I did myself, PDFs that you can use to deliver lectures. My trainings these days in the Millionaire School, I have so many video compilations I can give you. In fact, if you have 32 gigabytes, I can fill it up with videos. I'm telling you. And you can use those tools and mentor your people. It's very simple to mentor people. Play the video, tell them this is our director. Some of you see me, I play the video of Matt Morris, and we're all excited and we discuss it. That is it. He's using tools. You can as well play my own video, discuss with your success lines, and then you are building them. And when you use tools to develop people, they believe they can build the business. When you build the business around you, the people will be looking at their success, measuring it based on your own talents and your own giftings. I am highly, highly gifted when it comes to human interaction and communication. I knew that, and I have developed that, and I've worked on myself, and I'm getting better and better. I'm telling you the truth. I know I can be very, very charming online. Even people, while I'm talking to people, I know how to communicate to people and then get into their soul. You can't do that so easily. You can't build it around me. I've been training for the past 15 years. I don't know whether some of you got that. As in, I've been training, full-time training. Since I left university, I've been training on stages, professional presentation. For the past 15 years, I graduated 2006. For past 15 years, I've been on stage, talking, presenting, working with people, building businesses, and dealing with human beings when it comes to building businesses. Some of you, most of your career is in the public sector. You may not be able to function just like me. So it will be highly detrimental to you trying to build your business around your own personal giftings. If you have personal giftings, produce tools that will help. Produce tools that will help. Let me give you what the tools can do for us. I run a live presentation, you give me 50 people, and I'm able to close on 10 pays and registers. I produce the recorded video and I give to all of you. And all of you shares it about 500 persons. 500 persons watches the recorded video, and about 50 says 10%. 50 of them says, I'm interested. You can easily share tools. You can easily use the tools to multiply because everybody can use it. Please, I want to encourage us. Let us get accustomed to using our tools, our recorded videos, our training materials. Do you go through them intentionally? These 7 core disciplines we've been talking about. Yes, people have graduated from the foundation class and they are now in the millionaire school. They are graduating. Okay, they won't graduate out of the millionaire school. In fact, graduating out of the millionaire school is like entering Rising Star Mentors training. But as a Rising Star mentor, you must understand that I'm working on you, working with you, mentoring you to become an influential mentor. And at the level of influential mentor, you are meant to master the 7 core disciplines. You are meant to be a professional. It's like masters. You are doing your masters. Masters in network marketing. That's what you are doing now as Rising Star Mentors. And you have 7 courses outlined. Your first course is prospecting. Second one is inviting. Third one is presentation and closing. Fourth one is follow-up. Fifth one is handling of objections, questions, and at the same time closing. The 6th one is getting new persons or new partners started rightly. The 7th one is promotion. Are you mastering them? For example, look at promotion. How many of you are promoting the 90 days routine challenge? For some days, I've not promoted it. How many of you are promoting it in your team? How many of you are calling your team members? You know what? Let's do this thing together. Let's be the one to win this prize. Some of you, let me say this. See, if I was the one to win this thing, if I was to be part of this competition, this exercise, if you see the way I will connive with some of my partners, I will team up together. 2 weeks, we don't hit 10. Use one person ID, sponsor the team. You collect the 20,000, collect the 40,000 naira, use it and run out, but use it to grow the team. You've not seen anything. It's about teamwork. I just gave us a secret now. Yes, now. Team up. Promoting events. This was going to be happening. Let's make sure we are the one to win it. That's one of the things Eminent Augusta is good at. I'm telling you, she's just so good at it. When I mean so good, she's so good. You don't dare, if you dare ever put any form of competition or any form of, how would I put it, promo that involves Alpha Lion and every other team member, Alpha Lion will wipe it off. Forget it. Why? She will just carry it on their head. They will take it as a fight and as a war. And that is what it's supposed to be. Working with the team members and making sure that it's about your team. It's about your team. Promoting the event, promoting the program. She will be on that. She will make sure that all as in those days when we do raffle draw, if we have like 20 qualifiers, 15 to 18 will be her team members. Are you promoting events? Talking about getting new persons started rightly. Of course, I've told us the system that handles that, the foundation class. Have you mastered how to handle your foundation class? I had to get into foundation class A, Mama Agnes foundation class, and then I have to question them. Why are people not graduating from here? Why? People are just adding people. Why? In less than 3 days, 6 persons graduated. I shouldn't do that. That foundation class is very important. The earlier you get people through the foundation class and get you to join you in the millionaire school, the better for you. Have you mastered getting new person started rightly? That is the foundation class. And you also on your own, have you gone through that video? You must have to go through that video over and over, those 5 videos, to understand it for yourself. And also think creatively. Are there things we need to add in this foundation class that will get people to be more rooted? I had to work on the foundation class videos to the point that I now got it to where it is now. Can you handle questions in the business? We call it objections. Can you handle objections? Someone tells you, I don't have money. Someone tells you, let me talk to my father. Let me talk to my husband. Is this not a pyramid scheme? Can you handle objections professionally? These are the disciplines. Can you sit somebody one-on-one? See, in the millionaire school, we'll be telling people, see, share the video, share the video. In the Rising Star Mentors, let me tell you, one of the things that will make you an influential mentor is that you are holding your weekly meetings. You have a place you call your own venue, your own office, rented, or if it's your apartment, you know that every weekend you are going to be running seminars. At least once in a week, you are running seminars and then you're doing partners training. A time when we get there, we're going to get there when I will enforce it. In the Rising Star Mentors training, it's a must. You must start running presentations to become an influential mentor. If not, you may have all the qualifications. Don't forget what it takes you to become an influential mentor. You must sponsor 20 persons directly, as in directly, one-on-one. You must have sponsored 20. Number 2, 28 out of that 20 must become a Rising Star mentor. 8 out of that 20 must become a Rising Star mentor. And then you yourself must have 7 accounts. I hope you have this thing written down somewhere. Have you forgotten? 20 personal sponsors, 8 Rising Star mentor produced in your team. Then you have 7 accounts. That's what it costs. That's what it takes you to become an influential mentor. That's when it takes you to become an influential mentor. That's my responsibility. And then you're going to start running presentations. You will start doing registrations. One of the best things I can do now is to teach Mama Agnes and their team. I can't wait for you to become a right influential mentor to teach you people how to do registrations. I am telling you people the truth. See these 2 things, Mama Princess, Mama that reminds me, Mama Princess Akala. Let's make sure we reach out to Madam Owoye. Owoye, your success line. She's feeling sick. Please, in fact, she was admitted in the hospital. Let's call her. Mama Princess, please try and call her and find out how she's faring. Yeah, I communicated with her because I've not seen her in my millionaire school for some time. And I found out that she's feeling sick. Please make sure you reach out to her. It's very important. That woman is the only very serious person I know you have right now, followed by Barrister Bassi. Very important. All right. So I need you to understand that you are going through trainings to master our 7 core disciplines. And I want you to always rate yourself. By next week, you're going to be rating yourself. I will unmute you and I will ask you on a scale of 1 to 10, what's your level on prospecting? What would you say? You rate yourself. What's your level in inviting? What's your level in presenting? What's your level in closing and handling of objections? What's your level in doing follow-up? What's your level in what's your level when it comes to starting new partners rightly? And then when it comes to promotion, what's your level? You are going to be evaluating yourself next week, Saturday. All right. So that being said, let's continue with our training on the 21 laws of irrefutable, 21 irrefutable laws of leadership. All right. 21 irrefutable laws of leadership. Let's take a look at that. So I think, where did we stop last week? We stopped at law number 3. Who will remind me where we stopped last week? Mr. Churchy, can you remind me where we stopped last week?
Law number 3.
Yes, sir.
Law number 3.
Law number 3. And what was
law number 3?
What was that?
Law number 3 was, let me just check my book.
Is it the law of the process?
It's law of process.
Okay, the law of the process. All right.
Yes,
So,
we'll stop there.
okay, let me play it out now. Let me get there.
Your neighbor, look back at your neighbors. It's easier to go from day-to-day process, and we've got to navigate maybe for a 3-6 month period, understand where you are as far as what level of influence you have and where you should go to increase your influence level. For example, let's go down to the very bottom step, okay? On that first lowest level, put the word position.
Okay, we've done the.
Now, here's what I think. I think the event is easy. It's a journey. It's a process.
Okay, yeah.
So many times we
Yeah,
law
we are
number
about
4 is the law.
exactly. So we are going to get into the fourth law, which is the law of navigation. All right. So let's have it now. The law number 4 is the law of navigation. We dealt with Mr. Daniel. I need a pen fast because me, I need to write. There's a minute too. Let me get my own pen. I think Rehab has collected the pen I have here. Why are you shouting Jesus? You came here and collected my own pen. You can collect from, okay, don't worry, I have one. Okay. Yeah. All right, so let's watch. I bought it, new pen. All right. Let's listen to the law of navigation. That's the fourth law.
Law number 4 is the law of navigation. And the law of navigation says anyone can steer the ship, but it takes a leader to chart the course. I've often described leadership in kind of 2 terms. There's what I call the art form of leadership, and then there's a technical form of leadership. The law of navigation is a technical form of leadership. It's very tangible. It's point A to point B to point C.
Did we get the first statement? He said, anyone can steer the
law of navigation. And the law of navigation says anyone can steer the ship,
okay.
but it takes a leader to chart the course. I've often described leadership in kind of 2 terms. There's what I call the art form of leadership, and then there's a technical form of leadership. The law of navigation is a technical form of leadership. It's very tangible. It's point A to point B to point C. For example, the law of timing or the law of intuition, that's art form of leadership. It's much more subjective. It's much harder to get your hands around it. Jack Welch was exactly right when he said, a good leader remains focused. Controlling your destination is better than being controlled by it. So let's study for a few minutes the law of navigation. I brought with me something that I read the other day that I just love. And I want to pass it on to you. So just kind of sit and relax for a moment. Let me just read you this I think, humorous story. A man in a hot air balloon realized that he was lost. He reduced altitude and spotted a woman below. He descended a bit more and he shouted, "Excuse me, can you help me? I promised a friend that I would meet him an hour ago, but I don't know where I am." The woman below replied, "You're in a hot air balloon, hovering approximately 30 feet above the ground. You're between 40 and 41 degrees north latitude and between 59 and 60 degrees west longitude." "You must be an engineer," said the balloonist. "I am," replied the woman. "How did you know?" "Well," answered the balloonist, "everything you told me is technically correct, but I have no idea what to make of your information. And the fact is, I'm still lost. Frankly, you've not been much help at all. If anything, you've delayed my trip." The woman below responded, "You must be in management." You can see the train coming, can't you?
Exactly.
"Since you must be in management." "I am," replied the balloonist. "But how did you know?" "Well," said the woman, "you don't know where you are or where you're going. You have risen to where you are due to a large quantity of hot air. You made a promise which you have no idea how to keep, and you expect people beneath you to solve your problems. And the fact is, you are in exactly the same position you were in before we met, but now somehow it's my fault." Isn't that great, huh? When I think of the law of navigation, trying to get from one point to another, there's one thing, of course, that we have to understand, and that is, if anybody's going to be a good leader and navigate, you have to know where you are.
Exactly.
And again, I referred to on an earlier law the Mr. Magoo thing. I mean, let me tell you something. When you get on the ship, you don't want to look up and see that the captain is Mr. Magoo. It just kind of is a little bit unsettling. And the reason for that is, in your notes, there are 3 statements I want to make. And the 3 statements are these. A leader is one who sees more than others see. That's a fact. That's part of leadership. What do leaders do? They see the big picture. Is that not true? But the second statement, a leader is one who sees farther than others see. In other words, a leader is a person who looks out and he can see distant horizon and has great vision. But the third thought I want you to know is that a leader is one who sees before others see. It's also a timing issue. And one of the qualities of a leader is you put them in a room, they sense things. They sense things quicker than others sense them. It's not an IQ issue. It's not that they're smarter. It's just the fact that they have leadership within them, and they sense a need before others sense a need. They sense an opportunity before others sense an opportunity. So what do leaders do? Especially if you're a good navigating leader, you see more than others see, you see farther than others see, and you see before others see. That's what good leaders do. Bill Eastham said one time, realistic leaders are objective enough to minimize illusions. They understand that self-deception can cost them their vision. Or Max Dupree, my friend, said this. He said, the number one responsibility of a leader is to define reality. What I have found about great navigational leaders is they're highly realistic, because they realize they have the responsibility of taking other people on a trip where they have never gone before, and they understand that they have to have experience and success. In fact, there's a world of difference. Think about it for a moment. There's a world of difference between a travel agent and a tour guide. A travel agent, they get your tickets for you, and they get brochures for you, and they send you on a trip. You know what? They send you and me on trips every day of places they've never been before. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Bon voyage, have a good trip, and here are your tickets, and hope everything turns out right. Well, what travel agents, they send you where they've never been before. But a tour guide, when you go to the place you arrive at this place, you have a tour guide. You know what a tour guide basically says, I'm going to take you where I've been many times before, and I'm going to tell you about what I know. See, the great navigating leaders are leaders who they've been there and they've done that. But they're not in a been there, done that. Haven't you read people who kind of go around, been there, done that, been there, done, and they're bored. You know what I'm saying? You kind of say, well, you've been there too many times. You've done that too many times. Are you with me? So we've seen the been there. No. The great navigational leaders, they're been there, done that, but their excitement is taking people with them on the journey. I was just last week with Jim Winokur, who was the first American to go climb Mount Everest. And when we're sitting down around the table and having a wonderful lunch together, and I was asking Jim about some of his experiences, I'm just listening because he just has incredible experiences. And I said, what are you most proud of? I mean, you've been to Mount Everest on more than one occasion, the top. I said, what are you most proud of? And he said, John, what I'm most proud of is, he said, I have taken more people to the top of Mount Everest than any other person. And I thought, there is a true navigator. There's a person who understands that my joy isn't getting to the top. Been there, done that. My joy is getting other people to go to the top with me. And think about it for a moment. That's what navigators do. How many of you have ever heard the expression, it's lonely at the top? Huh? You've heard that, haven't you? Now, every time we hear the expression, it's lonely at the top, we think that a leader said that. A leader didn't say that. Think about it for a minute. If you're lonely, if you're all by yourself at the top, you're not leading anybody.
Exactly.
If you're at the top all alone, here's the thought: get off of the top and go down to where the people are. Go down and find your team and take your team to the top with you. That's what leaders do. Doesn't that make sense? Yeah. To help me, because I am weak in this law, I'm not an A to point B to point C. It's not a strength of mine. I'm more visionary. I developed something in the 70s. I'm talking about 25 years ago as a young leader, knowing I had a lot of leadership responsibilities and realizing I was leading people that were older than me, more experienced than me, because I was just young. I developed a wonderful process that's helped me to navigate that I want to give to you. And in your notes, I want to walk you through this wonderful, wonderful step-by-step process of how to plan ahead. Are you ready?
Yes.
The letter P. The letter P stands for predetermine your course of action. In other words, as a leader, what do? The first thing I do is I determine where do I want to go. I don't wait till the crowd's saying, let's go somewhere, and then say, where do I want to go? What's a leader do? Leaders predetermine. They think before others think. They see before others see. They've got that leadership edge. So predetermine your course of action. The letter L, lay out your goals. Basically, goals are nothing more than stepping stones. They're a process. So when I say lay out your goals, what I'm talking about basically is this. Use each one of your goals as stepping stones. So
exactly.
If I use this little platform for a moment, my goal is to get back up to the bar stool, basically I say, okay, here's goal 1 and here's goal 2. In other words, lay out your goals, develop them. Now, as soon as you lay out your goals, letter A comes into being. Because as soon as you lay out your goals, the letter A stands for adjust your priorities. I found this to happen. Now, I've been doing this now for 25 years, and here's what I found to happen. I found that every time I lay out my goals and predetermine a course of action, I realize I have to adjust my priorities. Because you know what I'm doing? I'm doing things that are never going to get me there. You follow me? And I say, oh my goodness, John, why are you doing this? Because if you're wanting to really get there, so this is your destination, you're carrying extra weight. So predetermine course of action, lay out your goals, adjust your priorities, okay? The letter N, notify key personnel.
Personalities.
Very simple. Take your key personnel and sit down and talk to them and notify and share the vision. For example, if this is my team again, what I do is I sit down and say, hey, gang, here's what I'm thinking. Here's the dream. Here's the vision. What do you think? And if your team is good, you know what they'll do? They'll take what you give them
and make it better.
And they'll give it to you back better than you gave it to them. Isn't that right? They always make it better. When anybody asks me, said, John, how do I know that I have a good team around me? I can tell you how you know you have a good team around you. Every time you give them something, they give it back to you at a higher level. They take and stretch and grow you. But you notify your key personnel. In other words, you have your key meeting. You have your meeting before the meeting. Oh, that's a huge lecture in itself. But you got to always have a meeting before the meeting, because if you don't have your meeting before the meeting, you're going to have a very bad meeting. Notify key personnel. Letter A, allow time for acceptance, because it's going to take a while. So allow time for acceptance. I can promise you, people change slowly. So give them time to kind of digest and process that in their own mind emotionally. Letter H, head into action. Get going. I mean, there comes a time you go. And by the way, leaders have a bias toward action. And so leaders love the head into action part. They say, okay, now it's time. We've been thinking and planning long enough. Let's go head into action. And as soon as you head into action, the letter E comes into place. Watch this one. Expect problems. The moment you create movement in the organization, the moment that you take action, expect problems. And somebody asked me one time in a conference, I raised my hand and said, John, why? Okay, help me out here. They said, when you say expect problems, why should I have problems when I head into action? I said, it's very simple. Motion causes friction. And the moment that you head into action, somebody realizes they're going to have to make changes. Head into action. Get going. Expect problems. I got problems. You got problems. We all got problems. Okay. Expect those problems because they're going to happen. Okay. And as you expect those problems, and as you're moving forward, understand that it's not because you haven't learned. It's not because you're being a bad leader. It's not because you haven't done things well. It's just because problems happen to all of us. Let me just take a little poll here. How many of you as a leader have at least one problem?
Oh, wow.
I was talking to a leader recently, and he was complaining about the problems. I said, don't complain about the problems. I said, think about it. That's why you have a job. If everybody was doing the right thing, probably wouldn't need you. This is a good thing that you have problems. But after expecting problems, always point to your successes. Always point to your successes. And the reason for that's very simple. Because you got somebody in the company that will point to your failures. Okay? This gives hope to your people. This encourages your people. And then finally, the letter D, daily review your progress. Daily review it. Sit down and say, okay, how am I doing? Am I farther along today than I was yesterday? I have found that the secret of navigation
is preparation.
And the best navigating leaders are those who spend time preparing themselves so that they can effectively take their people on the trip.
Wow.
Law number 5 is the law of E.F. Hutton. And the law of E.F. Hutton simply states, when the real leader speaks, people listen. Now, a couple of these laws in the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership are related. For example, I have found that the law of E.F. Hutton is closely related to the law of influence. Remember, the law of influence basically says leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. The law of E.F. Hutton says when the real leader speaks, people listen. But let me talk to you about this for a moment, because I have found that this is a key in understanding people. For example, what I have found, and there are so many examples I could give you in the law of E.F. Hutton. What I have found, for example, in a group, and let me go back to my team and using this kind of as an illustration. What I have found is that if you get in a group of people and there's a decision to be made, the people in that group will automatically look at who the real leader is. They just will. For example, let's just say Bridget is the real leader on the team, okay? What's your name? Rob John's my name. Nice to meet you. Okay. Rob, let's say we're in this group and Bridget's the real leader, but Chuck he's kind of got the floor. He's talking about something that he'd like to see passed on the team level or whatever. Okay, now, if Chuck's talking about something he thinks very important, and maybe it's a budget item, and maybe he's wanting some more money for his area or whatever it is, okay, here's what I'm saying. If Chuck's talking about something that's very important, of which a decision is going to have to be made, but if Bridget is the true leader, I mean, she's the real leader, she's the influencer, she's the E.F. Hutton, it's Bridget E.F. Hutton, okay? Got the picture? Here's what I found. You and the rest of the team, while Chuck's talking, are watching Bridget. Because what you're doing is, she is the E.F. Hutton, she is the real leader. And you're watching Bridget because she's going to, by her actions, give you some kind of sense of if she's excited about this or not. Does it make sense? And if for example, if Bridget starts nodding while Chuck is talking, the rest of us, we kind of smile a little bit and we start nodding while Chuck is talking. And Chuck's talking, you know what Chuck's thinking? He's thinking he's doing a good job. Chuck say, oh, this is really good. They're really, hey, I'm glad I prepared this speech. I'm really doing good here. Well, Chuck, you're doing good, but that isn't why we're excited. See, we're nodding because E.F. Hutton, Bridget here, the real leader, she's nodding and we're getting her signals from her. Just as Chuck, if you were given the same speech and Bridget's got her arms crossed and it's kind of like, no, we don't want to do that. We're not. And we all start crossing our arms and Chuck, you start saying, man, I'm not doing a very good job with this. Well, no, you're doing fine. You're doing fine. You see, the issue is not whether you're doing a good job or a bad job. The issue is that E.F. Hutton either likes it or don't like it. And we take our signals always from the real leader. Now, let me just explain for a moment. This is very key in leadership. Let me give you a pointer here, Chuck, that'll help. But if you've got a proposal and you want the rest of our team here to buy into your proposal, what you really need to do before you have the meeting with us, you need to take Bridget to lunch. And you need to have a meeting with her. And you need to be saying, Bridget, I just want you to understand that this is important. And you want to get her buy-in. In fact, Chuck, if you're a smart leader, when you come to the meeting, if you've had the meeting before the meeting, again, remember? If you had the meeting before me, if you're really smart, when you do it, you'll say something like the rest team, you'll say, team, by the way, Bridget and I have talked about this. And we think it's a good idea. Woo! That does a lot. See, because all great leaders take the vision, Chuck, from me to we. And until the vision is a vision of we, it's not a great vision. And what you need to do is you need to understand who the influencers are. You need to know who the E.F. Huttons are. And this is very key, because what I have found in leading now for 30 years, I have found that the leader's responsibility is to pick out who the E.F. Huttons are. And you know what? Bridget may be one of the influencers, maybe one of the E.F. Huttons. What's your name, sir? Jay? Jay may be one of the influencers. And see, as a leader, I say, okay, man, I need Jay in this project. I need Bridget in this project. What's your name, sir? Tommy. I might say, okay, I got to have Tommy in this project. Okay, what I do is, here's what I want you to know. There may be a couple hundred people in the studio, but what you have to know is you have to go to the influencers. And if it's Jay, and if it's Tommy, and if it's Bridget, if these are the people that are the influencers, I need to bring them in, because they're the E.F. Huttons. And when they speak, they're going to carry the ball for me. In fact, here's the way I've always tried to do it as a leader. I've never had a meeting with everybody until I've had meetings with the key people. And if what I would do is I'd walk into a room like this and I would say, listen, gang, I'm very excited about a vision. I'm very excited about something I want to share with you. In fact, for the last couple of days, Jay and Tommy and Bridget and I have been talking together. And what we've decided is this is the best way for the organization. In fact, let me tell you something. Tommy gave me a thought on this that's just tremendous. And I'll throw in a Tommy thought. And you know what? When we talked about this, Bridget said we ought to do this. And Jay, what you said the other day about this, you know what I'm doing? I'm tying them all in. So they're not just following me. They're following E.F. Hutton Jay. And they're following E.F. Hutton Bridget. And they're following E.F. Hutton Tommy. Because the real leaders have the influence. And when the real leader speaks, people listen. Haven't you seen this happen? Where somebody stands up and speaks, and as they're speaking, nobody's paying any attention. Huh? Haven't you seen that? You know, I mean, I watch them. Somebody's up there just speaking, and nobody's home. Nobody's home. In fact, there's been a lot of times I wanted to stand and say, "Excuse me, sir. Excuse me." None of us are home. I know you're exercising your jaw a little bit, but we're not listening. Remember, I'm kind of old, so I remember there used to be a TV show called The Gong Show. Yeah. And what happens, somebody's up there speaking, and when people get tired of speaking, somebody could take like a big mallet, go over and gong that sucker, and they had to be done. I've always thought, every businessman needs a gong show. You know what I'm saying? And when somebody's up there and you're just tired of hearing, you say, "Can I have the mallet, please? Can I have the mallet? If not the mallet, please, the mallet, please." And just go over and gong that sucker and let it be done. Let it be done. Because the law of E.F. Hutton said, when the real leader speaks,
People listen.
People listen. That's why it's so important for you and I to understand that we've got to be more than positional leaders. And in your notes, let me explain the difference between positional leaders and real leaders. Positional leaders have a title, but not always a following. Where real leaders have a following, but not always a title. Positional leaders influence positional people. I've seen that happen all the time. Oh, you're Dr. So-and-so. Well, I'm Dr. So-and-so. Here's my card. Here's your card. The only people, a lot of times position people lead or control or influence are positional people, but real leaders, they influence everyone. In fact, let me put it this way. When you have to tell people that you're the leader of the pack, you're not. And every once in a while I have somebody say, well, I just have to declare my leadership. I just have to stand up and say, hey, I'm the leader. Pardon? That's why I love the leadership proverb. It says, he that thinketh he leadeth and hath no one following him is only taking a walk. And don't you know, okay, people taking walks? Why? They're taking walks because they're not E.F. Hutton. So what makes a real leader? What defines a real leader? Look at your notes, because I think this is huge. Real leaders become real leaders because of character. In other words, who they are. Real leaders become real leaders because of relationships. Who they know. Real leaders become real leaders because of knowledge. What they know. Real leaders become real leaders because of intuition, what they feel. Real leaders become real leaders because of experience, where they've been. Real leaders become real leaders because of past successes, what they've done. And real leaders become real leaders because of ability,
What they can do.
what they can do. What I just shared with you about real leaders becoming real leaders, spend some time there. Ask yourself, am I a person of character? Do I have good relationships with people around me? Do I know what I'm doing? Do I sense what's happening to those around me? Do I have good experience? Have I had some good wins under my belt and some past experiences? And do I have just good, decent ability? Because the law of E.F. Hutton says, when the real leader speaks, people listen.
All right, we're going to be stopping here today. So we are able to deal with two laws. Okay. We're going to be dealing with the law of study ground, starting from that's the sixth law from next week Saturday. How many of you have been having fun? How many of you have been enjoying this? This is really impactful. Very, very impactful. Okay, this is very, 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 very impactful. I'm telling you, you can apply this any area of your life. I remember the first time I played this training years ago. I'm telling you, I've always been a better leader since that day. I'm telling you. I know most of you have worked closely here, which I know you now start seeing the things I've been doing with you. That's just the truth. Okay. So today we looked at the law of navigation. That's very powerful. You know, that's a plan ahead, how to navigate. You know, that plan ahead acronym is very powerful. You know, it's just, I need to just go back. I don't want to talk too much. I don't have much strength today to talk so much on this. Just go back and watch this video again and then internalize this. Then the law of E.F. Hutton. I'm telling you, this is awesome. You can apply these things in your life and then not have great results. Now, I want to say this to you. One of the things I sit down to do as a leader is to look at my people and then know what is the most important thing they need to do. For me, the most important task you have right now is to produce results for yourself. You can't really be a great leader when you've not gone to where you want people to go. It gives you an edge. It gives you an edge. Produce for yourself. Produce for yourself. It positions you to gain the required respect needed to command people, to be able to lead people. You need to produce for yourself. All right. I want to say a very big thank you to each and every one of you that made it to today's Rising Star Mentors training. Just a few things for us to take note of. First of all, I want to say big thank you to us all for handling our payments properly. Now, handling payments and sending them for clearance is no longer a challenge for me. And I'm really grateful that I've been able to do that effectively. And then secondly, we are now inducting people more regularly in our millionaire school. So I need us to really pay much attention to our foundation classes. Ensure that everybody goes through your foundation class and ensure that you're working with your people regularly. Remember, this business is about the people. Take care of yourself, take care of the people that God is bringing your way. I can't wait to see us in the next 5 years in business. I can't wait to see us with me in the next 10 years in the business. Yes, if the Lord tarries. Okay, so I can't wait. It's going to be awesome. You know, anytime I look at Mr. Toby, you know, it has always been, it is like a brother to me now. Okay, we see it, we eat together. Every time I look at Ebenezer Augusta, since 2017 that we met, we've been there. Eventually, the rest of you, I met you last year and this year. And the truth is this, I believe this, you know, this platform is going to keep us together for a long time. Okay, I can't wait to see Mr. Churchill in the next 5 years together, and then we are doing great things in our team. I can't wait to have Mr. Eric. I can't wait to have Mama Princess Akala. People get to bond and they become more, not just business partners, but families. I can't wait for such times to come. These are things, you don't jump into life. Okay, life evolves as you keep doing the right thing. Life will surely evolve. It just like last time I was in Lagos, it was so refreshing to see Mama Agnes, to see Mama Keyinde. It was so refreshing. I always see them on video and on the Zoom, but I was so happy as it was. I just kept smiling at myself when I went back to my hotel room. I was like, oh wow, see Mama Prince, see Mama Keyinde, see Mama Agnes. Wow, this is real, this is good. I'm telling you, I can't wait for us to have events where we can celebrate our successes together. RDI is quite a very young team, and I'm very, very happy that we've got a good system now that have allowed us to build well. And I want us to keep focused on the system. We are going somewhere, and many of you, in fact, all of you here, you know that already. We are going somewhere. I want us to keep being focused. Let's produce for ourselves. I promise you, the end will be awesome for each and every one of us. Okay, Mr. Churchill, are you raising your hand for a contribution, or for maybe you have a word to say, Mr. Churchill? Hello, Mr. Churchill.
Okay. No. I'll respond to your question at that time.
Okay, all right. Now, please.
But hello, sir.
Yes, I'm with you. Okay, go ahead. Unmute yourself again. Yes.
Yesterday on the OPP.
Sir?
You are still carrying on the OPP.
Okay.
You are still carrying the old account of Zenith Bank.
Of Zenith, yes. I will go and change it, really. But even if people pay it today, I can still clear it, actually. It can still be clear, but we need to change it. I will change this tonight. I will change it. Okay. I will tell, like I said before, I'm not be holding the business meeting today. I will discuss with Mr. Tobichukwu Mwipo and then Minento Augusta to see how they can host the meeting for tonight, because I really need to take care of my health, sincerely, especially in the evenings where I normally feel heavily feverish, heavily. So I drag myself to hold presentations now for the past 3 days, and I really need to take care of myself. It's needed. Okay, so I know that 2 days is enough for me. Saturday, Sunday is be good for me. I just need that 2 days break. Okay, Saturday, and of course tomorrow I don't do anything. It will be wonderful. So I'm going to be discussing with them to see how we can host the meeting. So let's wait for a message from me, okay, on how we can hold the meeting. Mama Juliana, you can see I don't go buy your flask, bro. No person go tell me I don't go buy your flask for hot water. Mama Juliana, see my flask now for hot water. God bless you. See you later. Please, let's ensure our success lines are going through the materials I'm sending on the WhatsApp group, especially the material on our products. People don't know anything about our product. Please, if you have not listened to the video, go listen to it and learn how to use our products effectively. Our products are wonderful. Learn to use it and then teach your success lines also. God bless you. Bye-bye. You have a lovely weekend.